And we're live. I believe we're live. Let me know in the comments. They usually take a little while to come over. I'll go ahead and share some music while we're waiting for folks to get over here. I want to find my comments too. Here we go. Good morning. All right. Ready for some tips on practicing. While we're getting settled here today, go ahead, if you're tuning in from Facebook, go ahead and share this to a group or your page. Let's expand the reach a little bit. Share it with your friends, tag a friend. Today we're going to talk about practicing and some tools. I want to answer some frequently asked questions around practicing also. If you're tuning in on YouTube, you can also share there. Let me know, drop a comment in the box, and we'll get started here. I'm going to play a little bit, and let me know where you're tuning in from. Also, let me know about sound levels. If the track's too high, if the flute's too high, etc. Technology is always a moving target, as is live sound. Here we go. Okay, hopefully those levels are good and nice. I did a little test run, seemed to be okay, but just let me know. Hey friends, welcome to the 10-day live stream. Let me go ahead and turn this music off here. The 10-day live stream, this is something that we did last year to promote my birthday and the Horizons Plus membership, and just to spread some music, spread some love, spread some joy, and some flute tips along the way. And each one of these days are going to build on one another. You don't have to be here for all 10 days. These will be recorded. They're going to be living on Facebook, though they may be hard to find after the fact. But on YouTube, they're going to live. We're going to put them on a playlist so you can see them. Okay, so today we're going to focus on practicing. And as I mentioned, each one of these days is going to build on each other. When I put together the schedule, I wanted something that was like one of these, two of these, three of those, four of this, five of this. And so as you look at the schedule, you're going to see that we build as we go. And so I really like this approach, and I hope you will appreciate it as well. So let me take a little breath here. And just thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to give it a few more minutes before we dive in. But I see some comments coming over from Facebook, from YouTube, and they don't all show up. So if I miss you, I'm sorry. We've got, looks like Basho 1967. Good morning. Anthony, John, Jake, Keith, Handpan Lady. Good to see you. Mary Jane, Laura Wade. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wouldn't be official without my Horizons coffee cup. Look at that. Okay. Let's dive in. We're going to talk about practicing, something that all musicians should be doing. And if you play the flute, congratulations, you're a musician. And so what we're going to look at, I'm going to answer some questions. I get these questions commonly. What is a good practice time and schedule for like how long should I practice? And what should I practice? Like these are the top two. And I want you to write some stuff down because I don't want you to go, oh, that's a good idea, and then forget about it later. Grab something to write this down with, okay? As we go through, and if I say something and you're like, oh man, that sounds like me, or oh man, I really need to do that, write it down, follow through, because that's the biggest thing. It's great to have ideas, it's great to have inspiration, but the thing that gets done is the thing that gets done. So let's look at practice time here. People come to me and they say, Jonny, I know I need to practice. What do you recommend for how long should I practice? What's a good schedule? So here's where we should start. If you're someone who's learning to be dedicated to practicing, right? Dedicated to something, that commitment is a big deal. And I know if you've ever been on like an exercise program, a diet program, this, that, or the other, you know it's more about the lifestyle than it is about the program or the duration of time, right? So it has to be holistic. It has to work in your life. So start small. If you have one day a week, like on a Wednesday afternoon that you can dedicate to practicing, let that be your time. If you can hit that every week for a month and you're like, I can do more, then add another day. What I don't want you to do is say, I'm going to practice 6 days a week or 7 days a week. And all of a sudden you're missing practice times. You're not following through on each of those things. And then you're like, oh, I fell off the bandwagon. Oh, I'll start up again next week. I'll start up again at the beginning of the month, something like that. Nope. Every day is a decision that you can make. So what I really focus on, if you can build up to this would be optimal. And I want to remind you that there's different areas in which we make music. So practice time, ideally you're looking at 2 to 3 times a week. This is what I find to be most feasible for people in their busy lives. 2 to 3 times a week, and it can be as short as 15 minutes. I wouldn't go past an hour. 15 to 30 minutes is really all you need a couple of times a week. But this is hardcore practice time, okay? I want to tell you about, these are the things that I want you to write down. There's 3 areas in which we make music. There is play, there is practice, and there is perform. And I tell students and Horizons Plus members all the time, practice time is when you make a mistake in something, say you're working on a piece of sheet music, or you're working on a skill, you're working on that thing. If you make a mistake, you rewind, you reset, and you go through it again. You correct as you go. That's practice, okay? Practice is about ironing that thing out. Performing is another thing that we need to practice, but performing it's not getting behind a microphone and in front of an audience. It's a mindset. So when you're performing your music, piece of music, improv, doesn't matter. When you're in the state of perform, you do not go back and correct. You just keep going. You don't make it the, oops, I messed up. You don't make it that song. You make it the, I'm going through this thing song. and you get through it. That's performance. And then there's playtime. Playtime is like a kid in a sandbox. You can make mistakes. You can correct them if you want. You can keep moving if you want. Playtime is where it can be messy. You got to explore. You got to make the weird sounds, all of those things. Okay. But here's what's going to get you on track to really growing with your practice schedule. And for those of you that are tuning in, whether you're here today live or you're watching this on a replay, I want you to drop in the comments if you practice. For how long do you practice? And I haven't forgotten about this. What do you practice? I'm going to answer that question. Okay, so we talked about play, practice, perform, right? So the one thing though, a couple of tools that will help you get growth in your flute journey is this: writing stuff down. I'm not talking about notating things. I'm talking about you taking notes about what you're doing and how you're feeling. Because when you can apply journaling to this as well, you can get a better understanding of what you're working on, how you're feeling, rather than relying on your memory. Because here's the thing, our subconscious will lie to us. It will tell us we're not good at that thing, or we're bad at songwriting, or we need to be more proficient with this, that, and the other, and we're not good. We're not enough. And I get it. Like, our brain is supposed to keep us alive, but those lies, man, don't believe them. So writing stuff down as you're going through it is a great time for you to just kind of digest mentally where you're at. It's also a really great tool for reflecting. So when you have your bad days, not if, but when you have your bad days and you're like, oh man, I'm a terrible flute player, nothing I do is right, and you're beating yourself up and you're having a pity party, you can get this notebook out and you can reflect on it and say, you know what? I am making strides. Look at me go. Look, I did this day. Yeah, I probably should give a little more attention to this thing, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. And the other thing to back that up, rather than just writing, is using your phone. Use your phone to record yourself. You should be doing this at least once a month. It can be a project that you're working on, it can be a song that you're working on, or it can just be an improv. Or it's a flute that you struggle with. You know, maybe it's ergonomics aren't quite right, or you struggle to reach this thing, or you struggle to do like a half hole or something with it, right? I want you to record yourself and put it on selfie mode so you can see what your hands are doing, where your hands, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your posture, how you're breathing, how you're connecting with the flute. All of these things matter. This is what I look for when I see you on Zoom or in person. I'm looking at these things. I'm studying you to see where can I make small tweaks in your body, in your breath, in your flute, in your playing, in your sound, in your style, in your technique, in your creativity, in your vibrato, in your breath, all these things. So getting that snapshot and then saving it in a cloud or on a flash drive or your desktop, somewhere where you can retrieve it later and you can be making that. Now, one thing that I've done is gone through and put together, and the one thing that all of this entails is intention. You're not going to grow by happenstance. You may get a little ways down the line or the road, but you're going to hit this point where you're like, I don't feel like I'm growing. And that's where you need to ask the deeper questions. How can I grow? What do I need to work on? Why do I want to grow? Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. So it comes down to intention. We put together this Intentional Flute Players Planner. It's a 90-day program, so it covers 1/4 of the year, 3 months. In the very beginning, it's got all these things for tracking your flute playing, journaling, practice tracker. It's broken down by the quarter, by the month, by the week, and the day. So this is your handy tool. It's got everything in here. There's monthly assessments, monthly goal setting, and if you get really bored, there's 3 different pages in here that have 30 prompts each. So there's 90 different prompts in here if you're like, I don't know what to do. You can just thumb to one of those, pick something that sounds interesting, and try it. It's a really great way to get outside of your own kind of patterns and your footprint and to do something a little different. I'm building a whole coaching program around this. We actually start in a couple of weeks. Me and 10 other flute players are going to be going through in a group setting with this. But this, I'll leave a link to after the video stops. We have this on sale today. As part of my birthday celebration, we're bringing awareness to Horizons Plus and a few other little small promos here and there. The Intentional Flute Players Planner, we've sold hundreds of copies of these, and people love it because it's a dedicated tool for those that are dedicated to their practice. So we've heard lots of great feedback on this. But I want to take a moment and say, what should you be practicing? Because that's the other question. It's like, yeah, okay, I've got the time, but now what do I practice? What do I work on? A lot of this is up to you, and I'm going to ask you kind of tougher questions. What do you want to be good at? Do you want to be good at everything? Do you want to be good at this is what I hear commonly. I want to be able to play music I want to be able to share music with my friends or my family. When they ask me to play something, I have the confidence to share with them without freaking out, without forgetting everything I know, without sounding like I don't know what to do and how to put it all together. And like, that's a very common one. Or I want to be able to share 5 or 6 songs with my friends that maybe they know. So it's a really, like, you have to define what it is that you want and what you want to get good at. I work with students all the time, and I'm asking, what are your goals? What do you want? What's important to you? If it's not important, we're not going to work on it. It's about your journey. And that's why this tool is so important. And we have, I see some comments here. We've got some Horizons Plus members in the crowd. So also for my birthday, we're doing a little promotion for Horizons Plus. And with that is for $1 a day. We also offer a 10-day free trial of Horizons Plus. So you can come in for 10 days. You can check it out. You can look at courses and guest workshops and lesson modules and Q&A sessions, all the things. You can even, if we've got them coming up in the calendar, like this is, I plan to show you this, but this is our June calendar. I know we're almost done with June, but we typically do about 9 to 10 events on Zoom per month. Flute circles, we got compass guides in 4 different areas. And so, let me just, let me do this. Let me share my screen really quick. And I want to show you a couple of things on our website that we're updating, we're changing. So one is for $1 a day, you can get access to Horizons Plus. And there's already so much there. You're going to just blast through so much stuff. You're going to learn so much stuff. It's going to feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. But again, I ask you, what do you want to learn? Because we've got stuff broken down by level. We've got stuff broken down by interest, like improvising or songwriting or spiritual aspect or mindset or technique. There's different areas in which it's not just flute playing. There's lots of different layers and levels to it. So for $1 a day, you can get access. And right now we're doing that promotion. Normally it's $5.28 for the year. If you are on the monthly $44 a month plan, this is a time to save. So in celebrating my birthday, you can take a look at this page. I'll put this in the chat. I think I can do it here. So just give me a moment to do that. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is this is the Flute Store, Horizons Flute Store. We put a new page here in the menu for deals. This is stuff that's currently marked down. It's on sale. If we have any coupons that are available, we're going to be plugging those into the top right here. And I'm hoping that we can get our daily thing there. We've also got some partner discounts here from some of our friends and flute making friends. So I just wanted to share that. I'm going to catch up on the comments here. Michelle says, I love Horizons Plus. I see lots of happy birthdays. Thank you for that so much. It's not till the 6th, so we're leading up to that point, and we'll be sharing a lot more then as well. So thank you for all the happy birthdays. I love to see that. Brent says, need to review the technique all the time. Yep. So you can pull something out of the hat when I want it. Yeah, so it's always a great opportunity to revisit and review some of those techniques. And I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes we get stuck in our own little rut, even though it sounds good. Like sometimes I'm like, well, I tend to do that a lot. Like it can become like a signature lick or something like that, but maybe I want something different. Maybe it's time for something different. And so when you can really employ and learn those different techniques and how to do them, then you can throw them in when you really want to. Just love this. Awesome. Bradshaw says, trying to learn vibrato. We've got a whole mini course on vibrato, breath control and vibrato inside Horizons Plus. There's so many things to walk through. It's going to walk you through the slow, low vibrato all the way to the fast, high vibrato. And there's a lot of stuff in between to get there. So where am I at? We also need to cover what to practice. So again, it comes down to what you want. But commonly, I'll have students say, I need to learn technique. I'm having a problem with this one song, things like this. So a lot of times, like if you're learning a specific song and there's like tripping points in the song, like you tend to miss those notes or they go by too fast or it cause hesitation, then I would say extract that, whatever that amount of phrase is in that song, extract that as an exercise. The first thing you need to do is to slow your roll. Go slow through this passage. Break it down. What note comes next? Forget about embellishments. Don't even worry with those yet. A lot of us like to start there. Do not start there. Focus on what finger comes next. What am I doing? Okay. Then you're going to speed it up and get your timing right. Okay. Once you get your timing, then you're going to start layering in the embellishments. This actually follows my 3-step process for learning a song. We go the what, the transition, and then the how. And that's where the embellishment and emotion come from. So with all of that, you have to find what to practice on. And it's a really good idea commonly when I'm working with students that I give you something that is creative in the space of improv. Like maybe it's, hey, work with this scale, come up with a phrase or two that you really like. Be creative, improvise, make something up, right? That's fun. I also want you to work on this piece of music because that's also going to tell me, you and I are looking at the exact same thing, and it's going to tell me where you need to work. Is it timing? Is it rhythm? Is it breath work? Is it phrasing? Is it technique? Where are you at? So that's something to really look at, is you need something in kind of the creative space that you can make up on your own, and something also that is definitive, something very defined. Work on a song. Doesn't have to be an elaborate song. Okay? It could be Amazing Grace, Cherokee Morning Song, Taps, any of these more simple songs. We've got lots of songs and sheet music available on Horizons Flute Store. G.S. Bradshaw, should we be using a metronome? A metronome is one way that you can work with timing, tempo, beat and pulse, those sorts of things. It's also a way that we can work with vibrato, because vibrato is that pulsation of volume. You're going to have lows and highs. And so you've got to work on getting that pulse into something that feels a little more fluid. So I do use a metronome inside that course as a way, because again, same thing with writing stuff down, keeping track, good metrics. It gives us data to go back on, to see where we're at, to see how we're growing or how we're not. How can we grow? So anytime you can get a little bit more analytical, a little bit more data, because we make decisions based on two things: data and facts, and feeling, right? Some of us are a lot of feeling, some of us are a lot of data and facts. How do we strike this balance? So I've shared a lot already. I get very excited, as you can tell, about helping people with their flute. Whether it's writing songs, being better at improv. We've got 9 more days of live streaming left to go. And I don't want these to be long sessions. I intend for them to be kind of short and sweet. to celebrate my birthday week, to celebrate Horizons Plus, to celebrate you guys also. So I'm going to play a song, play a flute. The first flute that I was playing, by the way, is a flute in the key of G. It's made by Gary Kuhl, Kuhl. And so this one is one of my performance flutes. Typically goes on the road with me. You'll see it in other live streams and such. And I'm going to close us out here with a solo flute song. And pay attention. I know vibrato has been kind of a big topic today in the comments already. But take a listen to vibrato, because when you play solo flute, so many nuances come out, which is great, but it can also be scary, and it can put you feeling a little vulnerable because there's no backtrack or any other thing to kind of hide behind. It's just you and the flute and the music. So this is a song called The Lone Maple. It is available on an album called Woodland Peace. And that one is all solo flute. We don't have any physical copies left. We sold out. And as with most things, this is available digitally through our store. I think you can find it on streaming. You can find a lot of my music on streaming platforms. And I appreciate that. The downloads, the streaming, the sharing makes a big difference, helps a lot. So when you engage with the content that I create, it helps so much. And any of my friends and colleagues out there, you know the drill too. We can boost it up. So this flute is in the key of E. This is a flute that I got from JP Gomez, Heart Song Flutes. This is another one that commonly gets to come on the road with me. Friends, thanks so much for tuning in today. I'll play you out with a song called The Lone Maple. Thank you. Yes, this is an owl carved here on top, and JP Gomez does such beautiful artistic work. Love it. Well, friends, that's it for today. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, Facebook and or YouTube. You can watch in both places if you want. It's the same thing. But be sure to jump on Facebook, share this with friends. Let's let this go around. Let's boost up the music, the good vibes. I appreciate you all for being here today. If you have any questions about flute playing, about the planner, about practicing, about Horizons Plus, about growing as a flute player, talk to me. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I love our Horizons Plus members getting in flute circles, Zoom rooms, all of this stuff. There's so much creativity, so many breakthroughs that happen. And it's usually the stuff that's kind of between the lines. And it's just so fascinating to get to deep dive into these different topics and subjects and get these different perspectives. It's really about this community. And so I get really excited because I just love it so much, and appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna stop talking and get to work. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.